Hey, what's going on, guys? In this episode of Chat Williams Fixes All, we're going to be back on the Cutlass and we're replacing the fans and we're putting in a fan shroud. Let's get to it. So one issue I've always had on this Cutlass is that it always got really hot. I have a single fan system in here right now that's just controlled by a toggle or a switch, and it's just not doing what I need it to do. So we're gonna really try to address that here. It's already got I think a 3-core or a 2-core Champion radiator in here. So that should be good enough for this application, but it's just still getting hot whenever I'm just idling or at a stoplight, anything like that. And I really don't need that. It's not good for maybe one of these classic cars to actually overheat. You don't want it to get too hot, and yeah, that's when you just start to break stuff. So I went ahead and purchased a brand new fans, and I got 2 of them, and then the fan shroud, all as a kit. And I have the Holley Sniper EFI, which I showed you in the last video, and I can actually control the fans based upon how hot the engine's getting on the cool and temperature sensor. So I can control things on when I want 1 or 2 fans to kick on. So I think with this total system here, this kit, we're gonna be taking care of this issue. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's on the car right now, and then we'll go get the new system that we just purchased and attempt to install it. So let's get to it. All right, let's go ahead and take you inside the engine bay here. As I mentioned, there's the Champion radiator, and then you can see the single fan. I think that's a 12 or 13-inch fan, and it's held in with those little zip tie things that go through the radiator. I'm not a huge fan of those, but they do work in a pinch. And then I have the 2 wires here. I've actually taken out the wires. I haven't been driving the Cutlass too much this year, so I haven't really had any issues with it overheating yet by taking it longer distances, but I went ahead and took out the switch currently, and it's just 2 wires are hanging. But to take this out, it's gonna be relatively simple. Just gotta cut the zip ties that are holding it in, and then remove it out of the radiator. But this thing worked okay, but I think with the fan shroud not there, it's really not doing its full potential. So let's go ahead and remove this old fan, and then we'll go take a look at the new fan shroud and dual fan system. So before we get the fans out, I went ahead and took out the battery that I purchased last year. So this is an Optima Red Top, and I've just been having some major issues with actually how it's been charging, holding up, and actually the cranking powers. So I'm actually gonna have my neighbor Kyle come over, and he's gonna go ahead and test this for me. He has all the means to actually test it with all the right tools and everything like that. So he's gonna head over here in just a few minutes and go ahead and test this for me and see if it's a bad battery, and maybe we might have to take it back and then get it replaced. So let's go ahead and get him over here. All right, well, my buddy Kyle's here. This is Kyle. He also has a YouTube channel, The Educated Idiot. I'll make sure to go ahead and put a link up here, so that way you can go check his channel out. But he pretty much came over and has a battery tester for us. So what are we gonna do here?
We're gonna test the battery, see what the output is, the cold cranking amp, see where it stands against the manufacturer's specs. We'll test that now.
Cool, awesome. So let's go ahead and get a close up and see what he's gonna do. We just went ahead and ran the test here real quick, and it spit out this piece of paper. Unfortunately, we weren't able to capture that, but this is the cold cranking amps of what it should have been, and then actually what it measured at. So it's only measuring out to about 313 cold cranking amps out of the 800, which is very bad, which pretty much says that that battery right there is bad. So we're gonna go ahead and take that back to Advanced Auto. I really appreciate Kyle coming over here real quick to test this battery for me. We can go ahead and get a free replacement on this. It's a 3-year warranty on it as long as you have the receipt, so no big deal there. So we'll go ahead and go right now, go to Advanced Auto and get that. But thank you, Kyle. Like I said, we go make sure to go check out his channel, Educated Idiot. I'll have that link in the description and also up here. So thanks again. All right, we just got back from Advanced Auto. We got our replacement battery here. There was no issue. So let's go ahead and start by taking off that existing fan from the radiator. So now with the fan out, let's go ahead and open the box for the dual fan system and take a look, see what we got. I'm guessing this is the fan. Got two boxes here. Open those up in a minute. Got a couple of wiring harnesses. A little bit of hardware. And then we got the fan shroud. So let's go ahead and take a look at the fan shroud real quick. So this looks really, really nice. It looks like it's all been laser cut and bent and everything like that. It looks very professional. There's a layer of like plastic over top of it that I could peel off for a nice finished look. And the inside looks really good too. So very happy with that. So these are 14-inch fans. See there. These seem very nice. Can't say anything bad about the quality of them. Look good. So we'll go and open up the other one here off camera. And then one thing I asked for was the female connectors or the male connectors that go to the fan connections there. So they actually supplied them to me, really nice of them. And these will be really easy to hook up and more clean, professional look. And like I mentioned, just the hardware. So let's go ahead and take this over to the vehicle, see how it's all mounted up, and get it installed. So according to the instructions, the first thing you want to do is map out where you want the fans installed. So I have one of the fans right here, and I'm gonna attempt to lay it on similar to here. See how that looks. So everything fits really nicely. The holes look cut perfectly, everything like that. And then they also give you these little tabs that slide into here. So let's go ahead and get those out of the hardware pack. So these tabs, they're molded exactly for this fan here. And they just kind of slide in there like that. And that's what's going to hold down the fan to the shroud. They're nice and they have a lot of pressure on them and everything like that. So it'll fit really well. So those are going to work really, really great. And then I kind of want this flush mounted all the way on the side here. It's pretty easy. It's not rocket science. It's really easy to just line that up flush. It looks good then on the other side, and it's going to leave enough room in the middle for both fans to sit right next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other fan up here as well to make sure there's no fitment issues before I mark the holes that I want to drill. You're going to have to drill out these 4 holes to make sure they fit correctly. So here's the other fan right here. I'm going to make sure it's all lined up just like the other one. And if I push these 2 fans together in the middle, they fit perfectly right next to each other. And what's really cool is that they're perfect on both sides of the shroud too. So both sides are flush. This is connected in the middle, and these are going to fit perfectly. So let's go ahead and get the hardware out for the other fan. And what I want to double check is the height on this. So I want to slide these a little bit this way. That way it centers up a little better. There we go, that's looking really, really good. Let's go ahead and get the camera in here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we can see here, nice and flush on the side. We got all the hardware all the way around. Both fan cords are pointing the same exact direction, same orientation. And then looking down, you can see that the fan has the same outline as the fan shroud on both sides here. So I think this is in the right position that we want it in for maximum cooling. And then the next thing we just need to do is put the mark, or to mark the holes for where we need to drill. So let's go ahead and get the marker out, mark those holes, and then bolt this up. All right, both fans are now installed. This is looking really good. I like the finish on the metal as well. So we're gonna go ahead and take this to the car, see how this all plays out. We gotta find the way that it actually hooks into the radiator or the radiator core support and see how it looks, but let's go ahead and take it to the car. So the radiator fan shroud just kind of slides right in front of the radiator here. Make sure you don't hit your radiator, any of the fins or anything like that. You don't want to cause a leak. But essentially what it does is it sits down and runs on these rails right here on the top of the radiator. So these are just to hold the radiator actual core into the side rails and everything like that. This is actually where you're going to be bolting this up to with those self-tapping screws supplied in the kit. But we got to make sure that it sits flush on the bottom just like it is here on top, and it mounts it real nice and close and everything like that. So I got to do some finagling, trying to get this in here just perfect. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we can look at those self-tappers and get this thing installed here. So I think I got this thing down into the right spot here. It's sitting flush here on the bottom. I can feel it fitting flush on the bottom. So I'm really liking how this is fitting. I think we can go ahead and shoot some self-tappers into here. Remember, this is just your top core rail. It does not do anything as far as cooling. It's just for holding in the core. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot a couple of screws into here and get this thing all lined up. Then I'll have to run underneath and do the same. All right, I went ahead and got all those screws in on the 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. This thing's not going anywhere. It's looking really good. So next we need to go ahead and throw on the top. That will hold the radiator in. It's the top support. So let's go ahead and grab that and throw it on there. All right, the radiator is now installed again completely with that fan shroud, both fans. Next thing we need to do is wire it up. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop for the night and pick this up tomorrow. But we got a lot done today, and we'll go ahead and wire this up to the Holley Sniper EFI, like I mentioned. Controls both fans, and I can set them to each temperature. So let's go ahead and save this for another day. So now it's the next day, and today we're going to be focusing on wiring up the fans to the Sniper system. So we got a couple relays, we got some wiring, and we got the harness for the Sniper system. So let's go ahead and start wiring this up. All right, so let's go ahead and start by going through the items that we have laid out here on this cart. These should be all the items that we do need to install this. There might be 1 or 2 things I might have left out, but I think this is the majority. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this and take a look and see what these items are. So first things first, we have some heat shrink tubing, dielectrical grease. We have some inline fuses. It comes with, I think, 10 amp fuses, but we'll switch them out for, I think, 30 amp fuses. We got the Holley wiring harness that connects up to the Sniper EFI, so that way we can control our fans. We got the fan connectors, so that way we can make it nice and easy to install. Nice female clips that clip to the male clips. We have some new terminal connectors. I don't know if I'm going to need them. I did buy them just in case. I wasn't a big fan of my positive one. My negative one's pretty good, but I'm not a big fan of my positive one. So just in case, I went ahead and bought that. We have new relays here. So these are 30 amp relays. I think they're actually 30 amp or 40 amp relays, but it comes with all the wires that we should need. Hook it up. We got some positive and negative wire, well, black and red, and then all of our connectors here. So with all of this stuff here, we should be able to go ahead and install this successfully. And I think the next thing we need to do is just start getting the wiring all laid out, find out where we want to put the relays, and get going. So the first thing we're going to do is install the two relays, so that way we know exactly where we want to put them. So I'm going to put them right here. I have one hole already that has a self-starter in it, and then I'm going to just put another one right about there and let those two relays just hang just down like that. They'll be out of the way, kind of concealed, and really easy to manage to get to the fan. So I'll go ahead and mount one up to here, and then I'll use a self-starter tapping screw to install the next one. So let's go and do that. All right, now with both of these relays put into place, we went ahead and took off the bottoms of them where the wire connectors are, just so it makes it easier to wire everything up. But we can go ahead and start focusing on the harness that we got from Holley to hook into the Sniper system. So this has all the leads here for all the things you can control, but we're gonna really just be focusing on the two leads that control the fan outputs that go to the relay. So we got the wiring harness, and then we have some wire loom here. And now we're gonna go ahead and plug this in and figure out how we wanna route this. So let's start doing that. So on the back of the Sniper EFI system, we have this one electrical connector right here. This is the connector that has this harness connected into. We just need to go ahead and route this out the back here and then run the wiring along the back side and up the side fender to make it all look clean, and we'll go ahead and hook it into the relay, get some power. So let's go and do that. So now that we have the Sniper EFI harness connected, and we ran it on the side of the fender with all the other wires, we have it now tucked away and ready to wire into the relay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the relay and how we need to wire it. So this is a quick drawing I did, and we'll go ahead and use this to explain how we're going to wire this. So on the fan, you have a positive and negative. So on the negative, just ground that to the frame, or you can ground it to the battery if you feel like running one back to it, but you can just ground it to either or. And then you have a fan positive. That fan positive is going to run to the 87 relay terminal. So if you look on top of your relay here, you have 87. Now I have a 5-pin relay, or there's a 4-pin relay. On my 5-pin relay, I have an 87 and an 87A. We're just going to go ahead and run that to 87, not 87A. So just ignore the 87A pin output. And then you're going to run the light blue wire from the harness for the Sniper EFI system. So that's the ground trigger. That's going to run to number 85. You're going to have a 12-volt source that you're going to run to number 30. And then you're going to have a 12-volt switch source that you're going to run to number 86. With all that ran just like that, we can go ahead and use these functionality that the Sniper EFI gives us. This is a safe way of how to do it. You don't ever just want to hook up the fans to the Sniper EFI system without the relay. So let's go ahead and use this as a template, and let's go ahead and wire everything up. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the positive. So I'm going to open this up. This is our fused link here. Now you want to use the fuse link just in case something ever shorted. You can kind of save your fans, your relay, and everything like that. So I got 2 of them in this package, 1 for each relay. Like I said, it also came with fuses, but we're not going to be using them because we need 30 amp fuses. Now what I want to do is I want to hook these up to this wire right here. So we'll go ahead and splice back each one of these, get the heat shrink tubing over top of it, and connect these up like we need to. Alright, so I went ahead and wired up the positive lead here to the relay through a terminal end on the, or a ring end on it, so that way we can hook up to the battery. Next thing we want to do is start wiring up the fan. So I actually did end up running a switch 12 volt right here. I threw it in the same loom. The blue wire is in here too, and same with the green. So we'll go ahead and wire those up as well. We need to hook those up to the relay here. So on the relay here, the light blue wire needs to plug into the 85. So on the bottom of this relay right here, we can see the 85 is on the far right side here. And if we plug this in, far right side is the black wire. So we're gonna hook up the light blue wire from the Sniper system to the black wire. So a negative, essentially. So that's where we're gonna hook that up. So then the 12 volt switch, we're gonna hook that up to number 86. Number 86 is on the side here, which is this white one. So white is gonna be hooked up to the 12 volt switch red wire. So we'll go ahead and hook these 2 wires up and get those connected. All right, well there's our 12 volt switches hooked up right there. And next we'll go ahead and do the ground cable to the negative switch on the Holley Sniper system. So we'll go ahead and hook that up now. There we go. Now we got the ground cables hooked up. The only thing left is to hook up the fans. So the fans are going to hook up to the blue wire here. And we'll go ahead and run those over to the fans right now. All right, all the wires are now ran. The only wire I have left is this yellow wire on each one of the relays. That's because this is for the 87A that I'm not going to be using. So just quick reminder, this is how we hooked it up. So we have the fan hooked up. That was the fan to the 87, grounding it to the frame. I already did that off camera. We hooked the light blue up to the ground wire on the relay. That was the black wire. We have the 12 volt battery source, which is the red wire. We have a switched wire, which is, I believe that was the white wire that goes to 86. And with all that now hooked up, we should be able to go ahead and plug in these relays. And when we plug in these relays, the only thing I'll have left is to route the 12 volt battery wire to the battery. So let's go ahead and plug those relays in. All right, I went ahead and hooked up the positive cables to this terminal connector. Again, I think I'm going to change this out. I might do it off camera, but I'm just trying to test it out right now, see if it works everything okay. I just don't like how this is all getting stacked up, but we'll probably address this in a future video, or I'll probably do it off camera. But next we're going to throw in 30 amp fuses in these. So I'm going to get some 30 amp fuses. So we got a 30 amp fuse here. Let's shove that one in there. There we go. And we'll go ahead and put this back down on the terminal. There we go. We got everything now installed. The relays are all hooked up. We got power ran. Got the grounds hooked up. We'll go ahead and deal with these wires a little bit later. Make sure they fasten up nice and well to stay out of the way of the belt accessory. So I think everything's pretty much squared away here. So tomorrow we'll go ahead and hop inside the car, make sure that everything's working correctly as it should. I need to charge up my battery a little bit so that way the fans can run at their max capacity. But we'll go ahead and fiddle with the Holley Sniper EFI dashboard or the touchscreen, make sure everything is going to work exactly as we think it should. But we got a lot done today, and we'll pick this back up in the morning. So it's the next day now. I got the battery charger on the battery. It's still going to be running on it, but we can go ahead and hop inside the car, fiddle with the dashboard controls, mess with the outputs, and see if we can actually get those fans to turn on. So let's hop in the car. So we can actually test this without the car on, just with the key in the on position. But we can see that the battery voltage is going up and down. That's mostly because of the battery charger being on there. But we have a coolant temperature sensor reading of 97, 96 degrees. It's quite hot here today. So let's go ahead and go inside the system here. Just click on the screen. We'll go ahead and go to the home. Then we'll go to tuning, and then system, and then outputs. So our outputs here are set at 195 temperature for the fan to come on for fan 1, and then fan 1 off is at 190. So let's just go ahead and kick this down to something crazy here. So we'll do the fan off temperature first. Take that down to 18 degrees. And then let's do the other one down to like 72. So it should come on at 72 degrees and turn off at 18 degrees. So kind of ridiculous, but just for a test, and press save. And there we go. You can hear the fan just kicked on. It's going to turn over to the right, left here. And you can see we're now blowing fan number 1 here. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing for fan number 2. There we go, I just heard the fans kick on. Battery charger is kind of taking a little bit of beating here. Fan 1, fan 2. So now we'll go ahead and set these back to something not so crazy here. There we go, both fans are now off. And I will go ahead and fine tune these once I actually get the car running again and on the road, because I want to make sure I get them at the right temperatures of when I think that the fan should kick on. I'm thinking probably around 195 for fan 1 and kick off at 190, and then around 200 for fan 2 and kick off at 190 as well. So I just kind of don't want to overheat the vehicle. But let's go ahead and wrap this up. So there you have it. We went ahead and put together the fan assembly in the Shroud. We installed all the relays and wiring and everything like that and hooked it up to the Sniper system. Made everything look really, really, really clean. I really like how it turned out and everything like that. So the only thing left to do is just go ahead and mount the dashboard again and throw it back in the car. drive it a little bit, and see how much I like it. But it should be keeping this car a lot cooler now, and I don't have to mess with anything. It's just all automatic and everything like that because of the Holley Sniper system. So like always, make sure to click like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this. And until next time, I'll catch you later.